Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to ACS Sneakers. My name is Aiden. On today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some really exciting releases by Jordan Brand for spring of 2021. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say a huge thank you to my returning viewers. Thank you as always for supporting me and this channel. And to any new viewers, welcome to the channel. We do release brand new sneaker content just like this each and every week. So do make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the intro. So just quickly before we do get into the video itself, I wanted to let you guys know that I actually have a different segment on my channel already where we do take a look at upcoming releases every single month. So for example, we've just recently took a look at the top 10 upcoming releases for January. Now, I wanted this video to be in a slightly different format, so we're not really going to be touching on things like the release dates and prices and things like that. Reason being is a lot of these dates aren't officially confirmed for the UK, and I do expect that a lot of them would change over the course of time. So we're really just going to be taking a look at the shoes. There's a lot of exciting releases that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. But before we get into that as well, I do want to say a huge thank you to Kicks Collectibles for the Mocha hoodie. It's absolutely incredible. I'm so glad to have it in my wardrobe, and I would highly recommend that you guys go check out the Kicks Collectibles website. I will leave a link in my description area below if you do want to go ahead and check him out. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. And kicking us off, we are taking a look at the Air Jordan 3 in the cool grey colourway. Now, I personally am really excited for this release, and it's one of my personal highlights on this entire list, and it's at number 1. The reason being is I'm just a huge fan of the Jordan 3 model in general. I think I actually picked up about 5 or 6 different pairs throughout 2020, but as it stands right now, I do only have 2 in the collection. I've actually let a few go, but this is definitely one that I want in the collection, and it's just because of the colour palette, really, because of the fact that, it's so easy to wear. It's going to be so easy to match up to so many different outfits. And according to Sneaker News, they're actually using genuine leather. I'm a little bit skeptical about that, to be completely honest, because whenever I hear genuine leather and Jordan Brand, I'm kind of not really convinced. Until I actually see the shoe in hand, I'm going to hold off, making any assumptions, because this is all rumours at this point. But if it is actual genuine leather on a Jordan 3, it's just taking it to another level. And I personally just can't wait to see what it's actually like in hand. Now, this particular colorway did actually release in 2007, so I do think a lot of the OG collectors are going to want to pick this one up for the collection as well. I'm not entirely sure how difficult it's going to be to get, but no matter which way it goes, this one will definitely be in my collection. And next up, we have the Air Jordan 1 Hi Orgy 85 in the neutral grey colorway, scheduled to actually retro for the very first time ever in 2021. Now, according to Sneaker News, it does actually look like we are going to be getting this shoe, and we've actually seen some leaked images of what it could potentially look like. According to Sneaker News as well, this is meant to be decked out in some pretty premium leathers, which is really exciting. We did actually have the Air Jordan 1 Hi 85 of 2020, which I actually put down as my favourite Jordan release for 2020, even though I had no chance of getting that shoe for the personal collection. It was just one of those shoes that I could definitely appreciate from a distance. I'm hoping that this year we're not going to be in a similar situation where I'm just appreciating the shoe from a distance. This will be something very significant for my collection, something I'm really excited about. There's not too much information online at the minute in terms of the actual release date, and a lot of it seems to just be rumours, and I don't really want to be conveying rumours on this video, so hopefully in a future video I will be able to bring you some updated information, but it's a pretty exciting release in my opinion. And next up, we are taking a look at a shoe that was actually recommended by one of my viewers, so huge shout out to Project Kicks 97 over on Instagram for recommending me this shoe. To be completely honest, I had absolutely no idea that this was releasing, but we are going to be taking a look at the Air Jordan 1 Low in the Chinese New Year colorway. For anyone that doesn't know, in February we do have Chinese New Year as well as All-Star Weekend, and for All-Star Weekend we do tend to get some really exciting releases. In 2020 we got the Air Jordan 3 Red Cement, and throughout 2020 it was one of my most worn pairs. I can't really say the same for the Air Jordan 1 Low, however, it's not a shoe that I generally go for, to be completely honest, but I do really like this shoe, decked out in black and red, really nice subtle hints for Chinese New Year. And apparently 2021 is the year of the ox, and you can see that with some of the depiction on the actual shoe itself. It's going to be a pass from me, however, it's not a shoe that I could actually see myself wearing, but I do expect there's going to be quite a lot of hype surrounding this release. And next up, we are taking a look at the Air Jordan 1 Hi Orgy in the Silver Toe colourway. Now, according to Sneaker News, this is actually inspired by space travel. Not exactly sure what they mean by that, but for me personally, this colourway is absolutely incredible and is a must cop for me. It is a women's exclusive release, however, so any of you fellas out there with bigger feet, you might have to take an L on this one. Normally in these situations, it does extend to my size, so fingers crossed I am able to add it into my collection. There's just something about these women's exclusives that just make the shoe so much better. So we had the satin snakes in 2020. They turned out incredible. You know, the lucky greens, which I took an L on, I thought was incredible as well. And this one is better than the both of them combined. And it's just, for me, it could actually be the Jordan 1 colorway of the year. This is definitely something I have to add into my collection. And next up, we've got a shoe that I'm personally super excited for. We have the Air Jordan 6 in the Carmine colorway. I've been waiting for this shoe for as long as I can remember, and this for me is definitely going to be a must cop. I don't care what I'm paying resale. Fingers crossed I get it for retail, however, but this is just a shoe that I have to have in my collection. For me personally, this is probably my shoe of the year, and I haven't even, got it in hand. I don't care what the materials are like. I'm hoping the QC is good, but for me, this is just the shoe of the year. A lot of people are going to be going for this release because of the fact that we do have the Nike Air on the heel. On the last release, which I do think released in 2014, that had the Jumpman on it, and there's just more significance to it when there's actually Nike Air on the heel. This for me, as I say, is just super exciting. I don't have any 6s in the collection at the minute, so I feel like the Carmine is definitely the perfect place to start with. And next up, we are taking a look at the Air Jordan 1 Hi Orgy in the University Blue colorway. The hype surrounding this one in particular, as far as I can see online, is just absolutely incredible. So many people want this shoe. I'm kind of indifferent to it because I don't actually feel like it's going to work too well with the the outfits that I have in my wardrobe, and I personally feel like it's going to be a pretty difficult shoe to rock. But with that said, I think it's a beautiful colorway, something I would be more than happy to have in my collection. But if I don't get it, it's not necessarily the end of the world, and there's a lot of other shoes on this list that I would actually prefer to have. I think a lot of people are going to be doing everything to get this shoe, which you can obviously expect, and I do expect resale will be quite high, maybe very similar to what we've seen with the Mocha, just given how people are actually going about this release. Obviously the Mocha had a little bit more hype because obviously how it relates to the Travis Scott ones, but this one I just think a lot of people are going to want it, especially for summertime. So make sure you are keeping your eye out for updated release information, because this one is going to be a difficult one to get. And next up on the list, we have the Air Jordan 5 Amphisite. This could actually be the only 5 that I'm actually looking to cop throughout the entire 2021. We had so many incredible Jordan 5 releases throughout 2020, but this one is just speaking to me on a completely different level. I love the colorway. I think they've done exceptionally well just by the mock-up images that I've seen. I've actually seen that some people have actually got them in hand already. I'm not sure if they're official pairs or if they're UA pairs, but if they are official, I'm really liking how they look. I'm not exactly sure when this shoe will be releasing, but it's going to be a difficult one for me to wear throughout summer. This would definitely be a shoe that I would be more than happy to wear, towards the latter stage of the year throughout, autumn and winter. So if this is releasing around spring, summertime, I think it would be something I would have to shelve for quite a few months. But I still really like the colorway. I still would love to have it in the collection. And I just think they've done so well to actually get the colorway to work. Even though it's quite plain and quite basic, there's still quite a lot of different color contrast that just, in my opinion, works so well. And next up, we have the Air Jordan 4 in the University Blue colorway. Like what we touched on with the University Blue ones, the hype surrounding this release is incredible at the minute, and I think a lot of people are really excited for this release. Me, however, not so much. I do really like the colorway, but if anything, I'm actually going to be going for this release for my missus. She suddenly likes the Jordan 4, and she's a big fan of the University Blue color, so it's kind of a perfect starter point. She has no Jordans in her collection at the minute, and I'm really hoping that if we can get this one, we can kind of start to build a little bit of a Jordan collection for her. Back to the shoe, however, I think a lot of people are going to be going for it. Resale price is probably going to be really high. But I just don't know what it is about this particular colourway that's really, it's kind of a bit vanilla for me, to be honest. And I think when it comes to Jordan 4s, it has to be a pretty exceptional colourway for me to actually like it. The Jordan 4 generally is quite, really popular with a lot of people, but it's one of my lesser favourites, to be honest. It's not even in my top 5 favourite Jordan silhouettes, so this might be a pass for me. It's definitely a cop for the misses, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you excited for this release, and are you going to be copping? And next up on our list, we have another Jordan 1. This time it is the Air Jordan 1 Hi Orgy in the Shadow 2.0 colourway. Now, rumored images did release, you know, towards the latter end or early 2021, as far as I've been able to find, and it actually looks like it's a completely different, you know, color blocking to what we had with the original Shadow colorway. It looks like we're actually getting black toes with this one, and I'm not sure if it's just actually the lighting from the initial images or the leaked images that I've seen, but it actually kind of looks like it's a slightly lighter grey than what we have on the original Shadow colorway. Either which way, it's going to be a really exciting release, and it's going to be one of those pairs that is really difficult to get hold of, but if you do manage to get this shoe for retail, I do expect resale is going to be incredibly high. I've never really been the biggest fan of the Shadow 1.0s, that's just my personal opinion, but on this particular one, I'm really excited to see actually how it is in hand. I'm not going to be leaving any Jordan 1 releases this year. I'm going for absolutely every single one. A lot of the time I'll be letting it go, you know, for actual resale, because there's a lot of money to be had when it does come to resale. But there are going to be hopefully a lot more Jordan 1s in my collection, and just a lot more Jordans in general. I'm trying to really diversify my collection and get lots of different colours in there. I don't actually have anything remotely similar to this one, so this could actually be a must cop for me. We'll just have to wait and see. And next up on our list, we actually have another Jordan 5, so completely disregard what I said on the Amphisite. We have the Air Jordan 5 Raging Bulls. This definitely is a must cop for me. We took a look at the What the 5s, which did take big inspiration from the Raging Bulls colorway. I was blown away by the materials on that shoe, and I can expect that the Raging Bulls is probably going to have exactly the same materials that what we saw on the What the 5s. This for me is just an iconic colorway. I really do like the Jordan 5 silhouette, and it is one of my top 5 silhouettes for Jordan brand. So it just works for me. Red's my favorite color, as a lot of you guys will already know. So in that respect, it would be rude for me to not go for this shoe. So this definitely is a must cop for me, and I do reckon it's going to be a must cop for a lot of you guys as well. And next up we have another Air Jordan 1. This time we have the Air Jordan 1 in the Hyper Royal colorway. Now this for me is giving me tie-dye vibes, very similar to what we saw with the women's exclusive release, just in a much more washed denim kind of vibe. I personally think it looks incredible on the mock-up images that I've seen, and I think it's going to do pretty well for resale value. I really do like it whenever they do actually change the actual sock line and ankle collar for these particular shoes. On quite a lot of Jordan 1 releases, it's generally just black and things like that. But as we've seen on a couple of these more recent releases, for example, again, the Jordan 1 Mocha, the Jordan 1 Vaults, we've had slightly different colours around the ankle collar, and it just works so well for me that I kind of just, whenever there's a shoe that actually has that, it just makes it a lot more appealing for me. So this is another Jordan 1 that I'm going to be going for, and like I've touched on already, this is going to be something that I'm going to be actively trying to get as many pairs of as possible. So Jordan 1s this year is a big thing. Whether I keep them or not is completely separate, but I'm definitely going to be trying to get as many Jordan 1s as possible, whether I keep them or resell them. I want to be able to bring you guys as many Jordan 1 reviews as possible. And next up on our list, we have the Air Jordan 7 in the Flint colorway. Now, we did actually get some leaked images rumoured, you know, towards the latter stage of 2020, and it looks like we've actually had some updated images since then as well. In general, the Jordan 7, I'm not the biggest fan of, I'll be completely honest, and it's definitely one of the lesser favourites in my personal opinion. It's definitely down there as one of my least favourites, but there's just something about this colourway that I really am interested in. I'm, you know, a big fan of the actual materials that they're using. According to Sneaker News, they're actually using quite premium suedes. A little bit reluctant to actually put myself out there and say that it's going to be good quality, because it's kind of indifferent when it comes to Jordan brands. Sometimes the suede is incredible, sometimes it's subpar. So it's kind of one of those things where we have to get the shoe in hand and, you know, be able to actually see whether it does actually hold up. The Jordan 7, especially in the UK, doesn't always sell out, and doesn't really garner that much actual hype. So I'm really unsure as to how well it's going to do for like resale value and things of that nature. But like what I said about the Jordan 6, I don't currently have any Jordan 7s in my collection. This could definitely be a good starting point, and I'm really actually excited to see what it actually does look like in hand. So I am going to actually put it out there and say that this is a must cop for me. And next up we have a really exciting release. It is the Air Jordan 4 White Cement, finally coming back in 2021. As I touched on with the Air Jordan 4 in the University Blue colourway, I'm really not too fussed by it. If I get it, that's great. If I don't, that's fine as well. But with this one, this is definitely a must cop for me. The White Cement is one of my top 3 Jordan 4 colourways of all time. There are some slight tweaks on it. So instead of having that usual cement print, we actually have black wings and the eye stays are cement. It does also look like the actual tongue has a slightly different colour as well. So we have on the actual Jordan brand label, it's actually black instead of white. And also on the heel tab, it's been predicted that we are going to get the Jumpman instead of the Nike Air. Even though we do have these slight tweaks to the original colorway, it's still a must-cop for me. It's a really exciting one, and I do expect that a lot of people are going to be going for it. I'm personally hoping that people sleep on this release, but this for me is a must-cop, and it's going to be one of my favourite releases of 2021. And next up, we have a pretty interesting release. It is the Travis Scott collaboration on the Air Jordan 6 in the British khaki colorway. Now, I was actually discussing this off camera on Instagram with Sneaker Jossie, and we both kind of decided that we prefer the original Travis Scott 6s. This is a pretty nice colorway, and I do think that, you know, a lot of people are going to be interested in it. But for me, I don't really like Travis Scott's music, and I really don't buy my shoes based on what's hype and what's not. So whether I get the shoe or not, I'm really not too fussed. I would like to start adding more 6s into my collection, but considering how well they do for resale, even if I got this shoe, I probably would sell it, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. And I think a lot of people that are watching this video, like me, who aren't really Travis Scott fans, if you get it, you'd probably be the same. I think it's an interesting release. We don't have any official details as yet as to the actual release date, the release price, and things like that. So do make sure you are checking out all the sneaker websites like Sneaker Files, the Soul Supplier, and things like that, just to make sure that you don't miss this release. I do think a lot of people are going to be going for it. And next up, we unfortunately have the only Jordan 13 on this entire list. We have the Air Jordan 13 in the reverse bread colorway. Now, as I've touched on so many videos, red is my favourite colour. The Jordan 13 is one of my favourite silhouettes, so they just go together so well, and it's definitely a shoe that I'm really excited for. I think personally, this is going to be one of those shoes that you either love it or hate it. Very similar to what we saw with the Jordan 12 in the reverse flu game. A lot of people like that release, a lot of people didn't like it, and I can see this going a very similar way. For me, it's just one of those shoes that you kind of have to get it in hand, get them on feet, and just really experience them. The 13 is just so comfortable to wear, and it's just one of my favourite silhouettes, and because of that alone, I'm definitely going to be going for it. I'm hoping that there are going to be some other 13 releases throughout 2021. It does actually look like there's not going to be as many as what we saw last year, but fingers crossed we do actually get this one for the collection. Now that sums up every single spring release that I could find online at the minute that I felt was worth covering. If you guys can think of any that I've missed out, do make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you never miss a video, and I hope to see you guys again in the next one.